Cellhound, Adam.
What does Cellhound do?
Well, they're going to be your digital virtual assistants. They're going to list all that stuff for you. You send them the pictures, they do your eBay listings.
But how much? It's going to cost me a lot of money, right?
Man, the first 3 are going to be free. After that, it's so cheap that you'll think that Jimmy Cheapy Pants himself's doing it for you.
And what do I got to do to get into that and on that?
Man, go over to Cellhound, try the app, do the free listings, and then put in our code, Deathpiles, all capital letters, Deathpiles 25. They'll give you 25% off whatever rate you decide to go with.
Man, you got to know somebody over there because that's a good deal.
Man, we might know the CEO.
Well, I heard that you may get some good words with her, and we really appreciate it because we know that her product is going to help you because Granny always said,
you can't sell goods out of an empty wagon, and Cellhound is going to fill that wagon for you.
We sell your items online. Go ahead, declutter your life. Have a yard sale or let eBay do the work. From the thrift store shopping to that wallet popping. There are 2 things in life that are certain. Deathpiles in Texas. Deathpiles in Texas. With Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley.
Did you hit a button this time, Adam?
we're ready to rock and roll, Deathpiles and Taxes listeners. Episode numeral 3 for the new listeners. Episode like 135 for the old listeners. So we've been around for a while. We finally got things squared away with our legal attorney, and we are back on all of the platforms, Derek.
I'd say we're back and better than ever. I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but I was pretty proud of myself.
You did a great job, Derek. I'll pat you on the back.
You got a new theme song out there.
I did like it. We had your buddy Mick.
Had a phone call from the hardcore legend himself.
Mankind, Mick Foley. I know Derek, one of his lifetime heroes.
He's a good guy, and you can't say that about a lot of celebrities, especially after you met him.
Especially Alec Rodriguez. He is still banned from the show.
I wish I could make Alex make an appearance, but just to go over that, I'd like to just question him, say, okay, so I understand you did this talk. That's great. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'd say go back in the archives. But to do that, you're gonna have to either go up to Castbox or over to YouTube to find it. Anyways, I just like to go over it and be like, that was good. You're giving these talks, blah 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 blah, and then this happened though, right? And then this happened, and see what happened.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that trail already. We are here for positivity. This is your podcast about, formally and foremost, this time of year, filing your taxes. It's something that every single person that's listening to it, in the United States, I don't know quite how they do it in the other countries. I don't know if you know this, but we're kind of a big deal in Germany.
Oh, I know. We're big league.
A big league in the Germany, in Australia. I don't know how they take care of taxes in the Philippines, so all of those places. We're referring to American taxes at the moment.
If you're selling on American eBay, you should be paying your American taxes.
Oh, man,
You give us your money.
that's the way it works. Like it says, Uncle Sam gets his money, so get in, get it taken care of. You're listening to this. It's after April 15th, or it could be April 15th. The deadline for the 2020 filing season.
There's no way you're hearing this on April 15th unless your name is Derek Everitt or Adam Beesley.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, who knows? You might throw it up. And it could be April 15th of 2022.
Okay, that's true.
The Evergreen episode. But no, for the 2020 filing season, the deadline has been extended. It is now May 17th. It's funny, I got a lot of people calling between yesterday and day before, frantically, like, oh man, I waited to the last minute, which normally April 15th, Adam is not a fun guy to be around because usually by that time the people that wait are kind of, they're procrastinators, and I know it's hard to believe they don't have everything together.
And I said, Derek said that you would let me in.
Yeah, and Derek said, and usually I'm kind of a snooty jerk saying, dude, what do you mean you need it tomorrow? Like, I got friggin' 35 other people in front of you. What makes you so special that thinks you can jump in line?
That's where you pull the PSA and say, if you want to jump to the front of the line, it's an extra $1,000, but we'll get you in the front of the line. Being here at 5 a.m.
I told the guy that today, and he says, okay, so
there you go.
pleased about that one. But
yeah, that's how the game works. If you want to get in front of the line, there's Disneyland. You can pay to be in the front of the line. Disneyland,
pass.
You just pay a lot more than those of us that
Can't afford to.
Or just go in at our own time. And
yeah.
I mean, I got my taxes done.
You did. Like I said, you're on that mid-Marchist list, which is about perfect timing. But no, right now I'm in a dang good mood because we got extended till May 17th. So it's a month longer, but it's not 3 months longer. So I can I'm in a good window.
You can still get filed in there. You can still get your taxes done.
Yes. So
if you haven't done it, tell him that you're not going to pay that extra fee if you get it next week.
don't listen to Derek on here. So hopefully you guys have
I guess that's it for me. It's Joe. Adam, go. It's all yours, man.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully you've got your taxes taken care of. Like I said, this whole healthcare Obama bill extension. If you had Obamacare, it re-enrolled. So check out your health insurance, and that's with any healthcare provider. Health insurance rates have just completely changed. So look into that. You should have gotten Stimmy number 3 at some point. If you haven't, it's either because you are over the threshold or you're lost in limbo land.
I'm just saving them all up. I'm going to buy me a house. By the time this is all done, these 2 years of COVID or whatever, I'm going to have enough to buy me a house.
I thought you were going to buy you a Lambo.
Well, that's going to be in my garage in my house.
Okay, garage in your house.
I need something to fill up the garage for buy me a house.
That's true.
There's some people pulling in some big bucks with that, and good for them.
Yeah, so just go do what you can. So that's what's going on with the taxes. If you're, again, new to the game or you're redoing the game, like I said, it's April. Hopefully you've done better. Like I said, hopefully all of our resellers have done better this year.
That's the goal.
It's always the goal. Like this Stimmy money has really helped a lot. Hopefully you've made that financial do-over commitment, meaning keep better track, like have its own bank account, keep track of miles as the world starts to open up. I threw it on the Wednesday wisdom, I'll throw it on there, but the meals and entertainment deduction changed.
Oh yeah.
So I know that you skinny kids out there don't get hungry, but us big boys in the Husky section, we like to eat.
Hey, the Husky section getting together for a little reunion tonight.
We are. But what I mean by that is normally your meals and entertainment deductions are only 50%. So if you go out and have a meal after you get done sourcing, let's just say it was $50.
Ate some shrimps.
Yeah, some shrimps. Get you the nice
shrimps and damps.
the colas. That deduction would only be $25. But as they're trying to continually encourage us to, make the world open again, they want us to go to restaurants and do that kind of thing. They are giving small businesses the deduction of 100%. So, in essence, the way to look at it is, in a lot of situations, if you're self-employed, it's called a sole prop. You make $50,000, $60,000, even if you make less. That $100 meal really only costs you about $70 because you're going to save $30 in taxes. So remember that when you tip.
Remember that when you're tipping or when you're out at the buffet with the boys in Wendover, and this one's on you.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem taking care of the boys on the window.
Sometimes some of us get those, Tyrannosaurus Rex arms when the bills come around.
I guess.
Can't quite reach it.
Some of our friends, can't quite get there. But
little alligator arms.
I forgot my wallet in the car, Derek.
Yeah, they time up that bathroom just right.
Yeah, well, there's usually a couple stops when we're at the buffet.
Well, you can usually see that. Oh, that was a lot better than last time. Your core strength is getting a little better.
A little fizzy.
You usually see that waitress coming around the corner, and some of them, their bladders are automatically full. And then they're gone for about 15, 20 minutes, and see what happens. Well, that was
good stuff.
Yeah, it was refreshing.
A do 30 right there.
Adam, we go all over the place, and I feel like sometimes I cross the road a little more than stay on it with the eBay sales.
Okay.
Got a couple tips, little things I want to talk about as you change your microphone position.
I can't see you, and it's bugging me.
Well, you can't see me on the phone. That's okay.
Well, I know, but now I can see you.
Maybe we should FaceTime as we talk on the.
Sorry, I had to flip the mic, but now I'm in a much better mood now. I can see D-Boy's happy, smiling.
So let's talk some eBay, some real talk.
Some real nuts and bolts.
We like to talk about selling our cards and listing your cards and doing all that, but there's some things that come up. And last week talking with John, it just reminds me of some things that we've been selling enough. Even you're pretty new to the game. You've been there enough that something comes up, you can handle it, right?
It was a great week. Just to let you know, I had a great week.
And a great week. So let's cover some stuff, then we'll get into why your week was so great, because that's what everyone loves to hear is what actually sold, what went down. But what do you do if somebody sends you a message and it just says, "Hey, my items, they arrived, they were damaged."
Okay. Well, first off, you need to. The one thing I have learned is when I send items, and there's actually an attachment to do it now. You can take a picture of like the item and like when you're sending it, what it looks like. You can actually take a picture of you putting it into the package, showing that it's not damaged, and then the receiver of the package will know that, hey, they've sent it out and this is what I should expect. So you got a couple options. If somebody says, well, I received the item, it was damaged, the first thing you say is, oh, I'm sorry about that, can you send me some pictures?
It's, I don't know if you've ever been in a traffic accident. I drive for a living.
Oh, my back.
Drive for a living, and one of the first things they teach you as a professional driver is never admit guilt. You never say, you know, if you're guilty or whatever, the police will come, they'll do their report, they'll do their due diligence. And if you're at fault, you'll be ticketed.
Yes.
I'm not saying you'll get out of that. Same thing with when you're selling on eBay. If somebody says, oh, this was damaged, you don't first say, oh, let me give you a partial refund back.
No.
Hey, would you like some money back? Oh, that's fine. I mean, usually there's a return policy, and like Adam's saying, hey, can you send me over some pictures?
Yep.
Because people do go fishing from time to time, and you don't want to label everyone the same way.
9 out of 10 are really good people.
Yeah, you don't want to say, oh, they're all just scummy people that are
No,
looking to
false.
scam me.
Yep.
And a lot of people get in that mindset of like, oh, everyone's out to get me. And it's not the case. But, you know, if you ask them to do a little work, hey, can you send a picture? First off, can you send me a picture of the box or the package, you know, if they haven't opened it, so I can see that, because you might have an insurance claim with the post office, which is a mess.
Correct. You want to make sure, is it my fault? Is it USPS fault? Is it FedEx? Well, whose fault is it that it's damaged?
Then you might want a picture of the item. If they're not going to send you a picture of the item, it's probably not damaged.
Yep.
And you can converse with eBay on this. If it is damaged, you know, then you can go on, okay, now what do you want to accomplish from this?
Yep. Perfect example. You brought this up. You're bringing me back to the old days when we sold a lot of clothes. My wife had sent out some jeans sent out some jeans, paid $2-3 and sold them for $25, $30, whatever the dollar amount was. And this girl texted back, says, hey, the zipper's broken. And my wife says, oh, well, why don't you send me the picture? She sent the picture of the wrong jeans that we didn't sell her. She bought them from someone else. So because of that, I said, hey, these were not the jeans that we sold you. Here's the ones. And she was kind of, whether she was caught in her own, Ménage, Trois, her own little,
I don't know much about those, Adam.
Her own little, world that she was trying to live in. Because of the photographs and what we knew, we didn't have to give her, quote unquote, a partial refund.
And sometimes people buy a lot of stuff and it could be just mixed up there.
I do.
Or it could be, hey, I'm just going to send this to everyone and maybe I'll get, all my money back.
Yep.
Same thing was when you ask, okay, they're damaged, what would you like me to do? Or what can we do to make this right? Because if you say, hey, you just want a refund, you might be out a lot of money. They might just say, hey, give me $3.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it might be a lot less than what you're expecting. Or I don't want to mail this back to you. Give me give me $5 and we'll call it good. Or they might want to do the full refund. And, then you get more into the eBay process of that kind of a thing. But we got a lot of new sellers out there. And when you first encounter it, it can be, the first time you do some of these things, it's like, this is a big deal.
Oh my goodness, what's going to
To
happen?
where now it's like, I almost forget when things happen. Like, oh yeah, do whatever. Like, send it whatever. We'll figure it out.
Another good example, we found these random, Adidas shoes. No, they were Reebok, but they were from 1970. And, same thing, bought it for $2 and, I don't know, sold them for $25, something like that. The guy sent us back a message, says, hey, I didn't realize that the insoles of this they're really dried out.
Yeah.
And he sent him a message, I'm like, here's the pictures. These shoes are nearly 50 years old. I'm sorry that they're not in brand new condition, but that's what they are.
Well, and a lot of times people collect shoes, so it's like, maybe that was a shoe collector.
Yeah.
There's something when you're selling it. That's why in your description or title, it's always good to put for display only or collection, kind of a collection type deal or collector's special or something so they know it's not non-wearable. So if they come back on you with eBay, you can say, I put it right here. But even at that point, who knows?
Pictures and questions, that's always the biggest
But
thing.
pictures are a great thing to do, and it's going to cover you, it's going to cover them. And it's easy enough. There's the form on the eBay actual platform on the app to do that kind of thing. So
Yeah, and like I said, I noticed that, or whether it's new to me, you can attach pictures, like when you respond to a seller, which I don't know if that's what you do, especially lately. Like, I try to be Johnny on the spot with these cards going into my good week. Do you want to
Yeah, let's parlay it.
elaborate on what you've been doing? My good week, like I said, we sold some good cards. Anytime I get one, I usually message them right then and say, hey, thank you very much. We'll get your card out first thing in the morning. And I'll take a couple pictures, make sure that it goes in there, and I can attach it to them and just send them a message saying thank you for your purchase. But the nice part is, like, some of my daughter's WNBA cards, they're starting to go.
There you go.
Starting to go. We got early and often on that WNBA train is one of the things Derek's, into these other, finding the unique. It's not necessarily whatever, sport or something. It's uniqueness is what sells on eBay.
Well, you gotta think about it. So there's millions of buyers out there on eBay, and sports cards have took up. I don't even know the percentage they've shot up.
Some crazy
number. And me and Adam have really niched down on it. If you go back in some of the earlier episodes, if you can find it, we talk about T-shirts, we talk about other things we're selling. I still sell a fair amount of that stuff. I sold some discounted Butterfinger cups this morning. Actually went out, and I was telling my wife about it. And she goes, "Those are like from a year ago." I'm like, "Yeah, they're selling. They're going."
I sold some baby clothes the other day too. That was nice.
So I mean, we sell other stuff, but if it's listed, eventually that's the thing. Like, getting it listed, it will go. However, when we see a large market getting bigger and a demand there, and it's something that we enjoy, we're jumping in with the cards. However, if you think of all the cards that have been produced, and I went over to Phil's the other day, and he's like having a hard time keeping stuff on the shelves. Like, he's pulling out just the random stuff that he has to have some stuff on display, and starting to do some consignment type stuff just to have stuff there.
Ooh.
So he's trying to keep it going, but there's such a demand there. So if you think, I always say Zion because he's the big name. So last year, Zion Williamson, there's probably, 40,000 cards of him.
Yep.
And we know that there's like millions of cards being backlogged right now at PSA on the grading side. And so I think, well, if the bubble goes or doesn't go, if there's 40, let's just say for number's sake, there's 40,000 Zion Williams cards sitting at PSA. That might be high, might be low. Who knows? But it doesn't really matter if there's 50,000 potential buyers or 80,000 potential buyers. The problem is if there's 40,000 cards and 10 or 20,000 buyers. Well, when Adam gets into the WNBA, or I get into the wrestling, or we get into the Marvel, or we get into the DC, then we know, Disneyland open Marvel World is opening. Like, yes. There's a demand there.
Yep.
And, Batman's always been a big deal.
Superman's always going to be there for
the movies are blockbusters. WrestleMania just happened the other day. There's lots of people into it. It might not be your thing, but there's lots of people into it.
Yep.
WNBA, there's a niche audience. It's not the NBA numbers, but there's people that watch it. So if you have a card and there's, for example, or an item, I always say card, but if you have an item, and let's say there's only 10 in existence or 10 on eBay, and there's 100 or 1,000 people that want it, it's not the Zion Williamson 40,000 number that we're talking about.
No.
But if there's that 1,000 or 100, and there's only 10 available, it's the same principle, supply and demand. Hey, I got it, you can put your price, and with these things, they're a little more niche, or your items that you're selling that's a little more, it's not an everyday good, it's not a cell phone case, it's not an iPad charger or something where there's millions of them out there. You can say, okay, I got it, and I want X amount of money, and you're the only game in town. So if you want it, that's what you're paying, or negotiate with me.
It's exactly that. It's not like an iPhone charger case or whatever, where they're a dime a dozen. You got the only one, so if you say it's $150, it's $150. Like, it doesn't matter.
Or there's $200, and we had an experience the other day. So my wife went to Disneyland. It's probably been a couple years back.
Okay.
And she bought some things there, and they were park exclusive items.
Ooh.
And so it's things you can only get at Disneyland, and Disneyland's been shut down for, however long.
Yeah.
And I don't know the Disney World situation. I know they've been kind of open, kind of doing their own thing. I don't know what you're buying or selling. I don't know how it works.
Semi-open.
So anyway, she came back with some things, and she's like, hey, you want to put these for sale? She kind of bought them to sell. One of the things was this nice leather backpack. It was like Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter, Tea Party, whatever, right? This lady the other day made an offer. We had it up for $350. Went up really high. She offered $250. I said, hey, it's yours. We selling it for this or not?
Uh-huh.
She says, okay, yeah, we're selling it for that. I think she paid close to maybe about $100 for it. So it's good profit. And a little later in the day, she's like, hey, is that lady, paid you? Is it going? I'm like, I haven't heard back, but we'll see what happens. Well, the lady wants to cancel. And, I'm like, if that's my stuff, whatever, I'll deal with it. But I kind of hate telling the bad news and like having to relist it because she's a psych. She doesn't tell her.
She's
She's been telling her mom. She's been telling her sisters. I'm like, yeah, I need to go back to Disneyland and get me some more stuff to sell. And so I don't usually do this, but I messaged the lady because she said, bought it by mistake.
Oh, jeez.
And so I said, hey, how do you buy, you made an offer. How do you make an offer at a dollar amount by mistake?
Yes.
I understand, whatever. And she said, oh, it didn't have hearts on it or something I thought it did. So anyways, relisted it. I'm like, what? I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I came off with that. We were talking about supply and demand. But the thing is, I put it back up there. Somebody's going to buy it. We put it back at the $350. I'll offer it at $300. Maybe we make more, maybe we don't. But I just don't understand this, and with eBay a little bit. I think if somebody makes an offer, I think it should be like you have to pay the offer.
Right.
They're holding it, and it gets released, and you get it if you accept the offer. I think it should be kind of more clear that way.
Yeah.
And the same with cards, because I know a lot of times people put up stuff, and people kind of mess with you, or they'll be like, oh, I'll get paid Friday, I'm just going to pay and put it on layaway. And unless you're paying some interest or something on that, I think there should be an option there that needs to be developed. So,
you got the big wigs numbers. Why don't you bring it up?
well, the big wigs are a little too big for me at the time.
Well, you got the speed dial number.
Hey, you know what? We when you talk to Bill when he gets back, I got some things to ask him about.
About where's that wrestling card binder?
Well, the wrestling card binder, but it seems like our eBay seller group has broke ties with eBay, and they're kind of doing their own group, which...
Bill was the glue. Let's be honest. Bill was the glue to the eBay.
Well, they want to cover more platforms. I'm interested. I want a sellers group. I want it to be back with eBay because that was good relationship building, and that was being able to meet people. So I don't know what the inroads are there. If that's something that could be set up, I don't necessarily want to be the head of that. That might be the problem.
Is that where you're going?
That's a lot of work. They did put in a lot of work for that kind of thing. So
Bill did a lot of stuff.
we'll see. I'd like to talk to Bill and just ask his thoughts on some of that.
I know one thing. One of the commentators, because Bill would get all lined up to do things, and then they'd be like, "Hey, Bill, we want to do this." He's like, "Well, hey, I didn't plan for that, so." Because it's a limited meeting. It's only once a month.
Yeah, there might be some more behind the scenes stuff that I have no clue about. But anyways, that would be one of those meetings where it'd be nice to say, hey, here's an idea. And I'm sure eBay's heard that before. It's not Derek's original idea. But with the WNBA cards or the wrestling cards or the items that you have, don't be afraid to list them a little high.
Yep.
Because, worst case, you'll get an offer sent your way. That's where I was going with that. That's where I got off on my offer tangent. You get an offer sent your way, and you can say yeah or no, and or you can hold firm. And some of those things might sit there for a long tail item, might be there a couple of years. But if you're getting $500 for something you're holding on to for a couple of years that you spent maybe $30 investment on, that's not bad if you got the space. I know some people don't have the time or the space to do it, and they'll sell it for $70, and that's fine too. But I'll gladly be the guy that's there. I'll let all the $70 people sell off, and I'll be there with the $500.
Yeah.
And a lot of our stuff that we're doing, it depends what we're doing, but a lot of our stuff are kind of unique items. There's not a whole lot out there, so I'll be one of 10, and I'll just wait.
So I'll go into the, that's, you have to be adaptable, meaning there's a lot of things that you can sell online. Like this is first favorite Brian, he's kind of the one that kind of really made it okay in my mind. I spent all this money, learned how to do eBay with, buying and selling stuff from thrift stores, and a lot of it was clothing, it was random. I still have probably 10 VCRs that I'm going to unload. I know that they're worth money. I don't know. I get excited.
Not your thing.
Yeah, I get excited about selling a Diana Taurasi $80 card, and I don't get excited about selling an $80 VCR. It's one of those things I've kind of learned. But over the time period, I just looked at my average sale. So my average sale right now is $126 an item.
That's great.
So that's
there's people that would slit throats for that.
That's what I'm saying. Is I've increased my number of items. We've had a good last month. I said mine's kind of churn and burn. I'm really trying to learn what I'm doing, and my goal is, like I said, we wanted to sell a couple hundred, maybe $2,000 a month, which we're hitting there. But but that was the reason is I wanted higher dollar items. But for me, it's really one of those things like I really haven't put a lot of money into my collection. Like, yeah, I've kind of put some upfront costs into these card collections, the PSA. But like I said, the most I've spent on one card is for my PC. It's unless Tyler Huntley wants the card, it's my one of one.
Hey, his mom might want it.
Autographed card. That's the most money I've spent on one item.
But here's the thing too with that, because I got I got that Chicago Bulls ticket. I got some things in my personal collection. I still list them, and I'll put up there for $10,000 or whatever. And it's kind of like our other buddy Bill was saying. There's some things that you're just kind of like flexing and hey, look what I got. But it's also for sale.
Flexing.
I got my Woodstock ticket, and hey, it's $500. If you want it, it's $500, right? Like,
I guess that's true.
If not, I don't mind holding it. So
my thing is like my margins are a lot higher now. I enjoy kind of what I'm doing, and it's really kind of made it to where I kind of understand more of the game about how much I'm making, how much I'm not making, and then I can like squeeze my margins where before. We're buying stuff for $2-3 and selling it for $20-25, and if you promote it, you lose so much money, and then shipping and all of that kind of stuff. Where now, I know you tell me not to, but usually like I just set it at like $3.50 or $4 for shipping. I don't really care because if I lose 50 cents or $1, it doesn't really matter on a $127 item. It just doesn't make.
Well, you can't hide money, but if you do 100 transactions in a year. And it's $2 a card, that's $200.
That's true.
That adds up.
But if I did 100 items at $126, that's $12,600.
Could be $12,800.
That's true. You are true. That's enough.
Well, it's like we talked with John last week. Just getting your numbers right. You do it however you want to do it. And that's the good thing about it. We talk about that a lot too. I mean, there are people. That's why I like the thrift stores and the yard sales for when you're new. Because there's some people that love VCRs.
Sure.
They'll love to go in there and tweak with them and get them working. And they don't like sports at all. There's people that don't like sports. There's people that don't like cards. That's fine. There's people that love fashion. They love selling clothing. That's fine. We got, Sellhound came up with an easy way to list all that clothing, all those shoes and stuff for people.
Smart people over there.
So, I mean, that's some people's things. That's what I like. If you go to the thrift stores or the yard sales and you take the time to learn items, learn what intrigues you.
Yeah.
You got it on your phone there. It's kind of an education. It's kind of like an in-class learning experience, right?
And it is. It's kind of like getting into these groups. And they're all educational. You learn about different things. I mean, now not like it's not like a holy grail amazing, but if you're anywhere and you see one of those scrubbing bubble things you put on your
on the
shower and they spin around, like that's $60-$70, no question.
I mean, yeah, there's some things that you might not be into, and that's fine, but you see them, you're like, oh, I'll be into it for that price.
Exactly. I get that. Same thing Derek talks about his discounted spices. Hey, there goes a old Volkswagen van right there.
There you go, the hippie part of town.
The vintage part. Like I said, a lot of discounted items. We talk about that. I mean, the House of Pop. I mean, that's all he does. Is he sells weird, strange soda pops that you can't find other places. They're kind of very regional, and he gets them. And he gets a place like us that we spend $40 on feisty cherry Diet Coke.
And you're there, and you're like, I don't want to pay $2 for a can of Coke. Well, I'll sell it for $20. I'm into that. So there's different things, and you learn different things. I think. Like I'm saying, learn your shipping. If you want to do it a certain way, that's fine.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, that too. You should learn that as well. But, I mean, learn it. Like, that's a good way to learn. You get some quantity. I mean, you go through your first couple months, and maybe you're selling T-shirts for $5, and you're not making a big margin. You're learning how to ship. You're learning how to package. You're learning how to interface with customers. And then after that, you say, okay, this isn't my thing, or maybe it is. I'm going to go on to this. You find where you fit. You find where your niche is, or what you want to focus on. And the great thing about that is a couple months into that, you can pivot again and say, you know what, that was fun, but I'm going to go look for all these Mrs. Dash discontinued seasoning salts, or, I'm going to go, these guys are talking about sports cards, I'm going to go learn about hockey. Now, a lot of people talk about hockey, or, whatever. But I think just getting that experience, getting the repetitions, just like any new job, once you learn how to do it, it's a lot easier to go and sell something else as well. And with yard sales and all that coming up, I know some places they never stop, but for us coming up, I mean, there's opportunities if you hit the right yard sale where you can buy a pair of shoes or a shirt for 50 cents and sell it for, $50 or $100 easy. And that's not unheard of. And if you take the time and go out there and know what you're looking for, in a morning at a yard sale, you can go, hit 4 or 5 yard sales, and they might all be bust, and then you hit that fifth one, and you can come out making a couple $1,000s profit. And, it's not that hard. It's kind of fun to get out and do. I'm saying you can write off all this stuff. You can write off some of your mills. You just get out there, you learn the areas of town. Sometimes it's not the rich area of town that has great yard sales. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the trailer parks are the way to be if you're looking for certain things. It's just interesting. And if you're not an interesting person that has some curiosity, this might not be for you. But for us, we enjoy getting out, enjoy talking to people.
It's a fun thing about learning how to make money on things that you never thought you could make money on. Like, I had somebody in here the other day, and they were doing the same thing. And, like, what does it matter? Like, if somebody pays, that's the crazy part. Is I don't know why they do, but I will sell it to them 7 days a week.
Yeah, when you first start, and that's a lot of things that people will ask you or be like, well, why would somebody pay that? They want to get down to that. And you get to the point of, it really doesn't matter why. I remember we sold some hair gel that we picked up at a grocery store, like a dollar type store hair gel, and we sold it for like $20 to somebody. And this was when we were fairly new. So I did a Google Maps to see where this person lived, because I thought it has to be in the middle of nowhere for them to pay for this, hair gel that's not really named, but available everywhere. And they lived like right almost across the street from a Walmart.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, I don't know what the situation was, but I'm like, they easily could have got that for less than $20, I'd imagine. However, they bought it, and why? I mean, it's interesting and stuff, but why does it matter? They might be bedridden. They might just be busy and not like to go shopping. They might boycott Walmart. I don't know. But the fact is, they gave me $20 and I shipped it to them.
That's right. Well, Derek, I'm going to ask you a question. This is leading into something that I got into over the weekend. I'm not going to divulge the information because it's I don't know. It would make the price increase, and I don't want it to increase until after I buy it. There's an item. It's the same item, a different same item. There's 2 of them. Okay.
Okay.
2 of the same item. One of them, the person has it up for $500 or best offer. Okay. He has the same item also on a bid right now on an auction that ends in 6 days. So the asking price on the price right now is $500 or best offer. The other one still has 4 days left, and it's up to $76.
Is it the same seller?
Same seller. Yep.
So this happened to me the other day. There was a card I was interested in, and they had it at I think it was $80 or something. It might have been more than that, or best offer. And so I just said, hey, what would you take for that card? Or it's kind of the same thing. Like, what would you realistically take? And I think they said $80. We're pretty firm on that price or whatever.
Okay.
So I set the old. I'm a big fan of the sniper, of my auction sniper. So I set my auction sniper, and I said, well, I'm not going to pay more than, I don't know if it's $20 or $30. There wasn't any bids at the time on this thing.
Yeah.
And congratulations, I think I won it for $24 or something like that. So I'm a big fan on that situation. I just put on the sniper, and I let it do its work. I go as high as I'm willing to go, and if I don't get it, I'll live to see another day. I usually would reach out and say, if they got a couple bids, it might be a different situation, but I usually reach out and say, hey, what are you willing to sell that for? Because they might give you a good price. But if not, I'm going to sweep in there, because unless it's very rare and it's undervalued at that $500,
Yeah.
could you make more money?
Yeah.
A lot more money?
Probably, because I have you really need the set, you need the 2 parts to it, and I have the other part to it.
That's where it kind of gets tricky. If you think that you can make enough that's worth it, but why not do an auction and just put your top price at $489 or whatever? I don't know.
Well, I just about made the guy an offer of $175 to see if he'd take it, but then I'm like, is my 76 and I don't know. I'd really like them both. Is what I'd really like. So I'll share with it. It's something that happened that the world is becoming your marketplace. Worldwide shipping is the best thing it could. And I learned that on my first big item that we sold. Derek said, what are you doing? These auctions you can sell all over the world. And that really opened it up, and it was as hard as shipping it to Kentucky. So that was the biggest thing I've learned is eBay makes it extremely easy because they want you to sell things. They don't make money unless you sell things. So
that's what everyone gets in these conspiracy theories about eBay's out to get you and they don't want you, whatever.
They're not out to get you.
They want you to be successful. They might put some things in in play to make you more successful, or that will help you be noticed more, that you might not like.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, the fact of the matter is, you don't make money, they don't make money, their shareholders don't make money, and there's problems. So they might not always be the most popular kid at the party, but they're always that friend that you need at the party because he brings the goods, whatever those goods are.
Oh boy.
Whatever those goods were at your party, you need to invite the kid.
The cookies. So on that note, D-Roy, let's check for a boy. Well, it's taxes of Deathpiles and taxes. It is that time of year. We're going to have to do something. Uncle Sam wants his money.
Who doesn't want their money?
Well, he's got a lot of it, but we all got to put it in the system. That's the country we live in. So, need to file your taxes. Got questions? You want to know more because you're a reseller. It is a little more difficult than it is, especially if it's your first year. You're getting into it. You're going to get these 1099Ks. You get information that you don't know what to do with, and we don't want you to pay any more than you have to. So, reach out to us here at Adam Up Accounting. You can go to our website. You can check us out on social media. We'd love to help you out. Like I said, we know the resale game. We're here to make sure that you pay your fair share, but don't go back to jail.
Hey guys, it's Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley from the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast that you're listening to right now.
Your favorite accountant. I know. It's the greatest thing in the whole world.
A lot of you have been asking what you can do to help the podcast out, and seriously, all we want is a review.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a 5-star review, but if not, be fair, at least a 4.
We know you're listening. Like I said, we see the numbers. We're all over the world. Like I said, it's just we see it. We appreciate everyone listening. Help us get a little higher up there. Help us get more new
Helps with
listeners.
the algorithms. People can help find us out, and it really does help. So if you can go to Apple, iTunes, that's where a lot of you are already listening, or wherever you're listening.
Spotify, Apple, all of these different things. They're all out.
Wherever you listen, give us you don't even have to write a review, just give us 5 stars. If you want to give us a review, that's cool too. We appreciate it, and keep listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. That was a great break, D-Roy. You were sharing the wisdom.
We went deep. Adam's got some good ideas. Now, he's not telling you what he's after, and it's smart that he's not. But if you don't want to know what I've been after, I've opened up my mail over on our eBay channel, or our YouTube channel. I mix up YouTube and eBay when I say them all the time.
eBay?
Well, no, I say
YouTube?
I say over on my YouTube channel, or I say over on my eBay channel, and when I'm over there doing the videos, I say, over on my eBay.
Okay.
Or thanks for the eBay.
I'm already confused.
Yeah, I call it eBay when it should be YouTube, and I call it YouTube when it should be eBay, not intentionally. But I'm showing people what I'm buying. I'm opening up the mail, and it's live and in living color, and I tell you why I'm buying what I'm buying, and I don't know.
Hey, can you say that?
We'll find out.
You said in living color, and I don't want Jim Carrey or Jamie Foxx to be suing us again.
Well, it's the Greer brothers you got to worry about.
Oh yeah, we don't want those guys coming after us.
They got the money.
Which, speaking of, yeah,
The Waynes, not the Greers.
Ace Ventura stuff. I wonder how hot that would be.
It depends.
If you had some laces out, Dan, I mean, I'm sure your buddy Big Painter, he'd buy that.
He'd buy that. Speaking of Big Painter, so I alluded to it a little earlier. Adam's got us almost a reunion of the meth card meetup, a little more safe. Next week we should have some stories. That's all I'm going to say.
We will have
Next week we will have some stories. We can't talk about it right now, and we might not be able to talk about it a lot of detail then, but there will be a story to be shared.
If you look long enough, you'll find some things, and you get in these inner circles, and people know things, and they begin to know who you are, because Derek is kind of a big deal.
Hey, I'll take it. I don't know.
You got some followers, you get the things on the social medias.
We're trying to hit all aspects and get more people to the show because we like to share what we're doing. And the best part for me is when we get contacted from sellers, and it happens, it's happening more frequently than it was, but it happens. And they say, hey, I'm just looking at this. I just bought this. I just sold this. I'm looking to grade this. What do you think? Or, hey, thanks because of you. I just sold this. I was listening to the show, decided to get into this. All this is, or it can be sports cards, it could be a bed frame. I don't care what the this is. I'm just glad when somebody says, hey, because of you, I made some extra money. Like we had the legend come in. He's selling, first edition books.
Oh, that's right.
And, it's just, there's so much out there.
I went to the library and looked at that Percy Jackson. I went and made an attempt. I think it's a little a little beyond where my son is right now as far as reading. Not reading level, but there's some pretty, not advanced, but like reading about guts and blood and all. It's just you don't need to do that at 10.
I saw your kid reading some biography about Andrew Jackson.
Yes, he did.
Bloody Andrew Jackson.
But that's real blood, not fake blood.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah, but it's different when it's about war than it's about some made-up story.
It's one is real and should scare the crap out of you that it happened. The other is fantasy and make-believe.
Yeah, but fantasy and make-believe, I don't know.
It's whatever. I know you got your thing. I'm not pushing you and telling you how to parent. I just thought young adult reading, whatever. Like, just know that people are into it and you can sell it. That's where I come in at.
You're right.
Whether or not your kids participate or not, I just thought they might be interested. I don't know what they like.
Yeah, that's true. And all I know is getting into it's fun. It's I don't know. I've been building the Disneyland world if they ever open up fully. I don't know how masked up in California, socially distanced I want to be. I don't know how that's going to work. But
You can pick fruit off the trees.
I guess. But
Eat it while you're in line.
And after this
Hit
transfer,
on Snow White a little bit.
I'll have $2,700 into Disneyland.
Wow.
All from
Well, you might be staying in the Magic Castle by the time this is all done. By the time you can go.
Best part is we have all the flights are paid for.
Splashing in the well and on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Do they still have the submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
The last time I was in Disneyland was the year 2000. To be 100% honest with you, I have no clue what they got going on over there.
I think that's the year I was there.
Nah, that was the last time I went through the magical corridor.
In the early aughts.
It was the late 90s, early aughts.
Early
Yeah.
aughts. Back when Kurt Cobain was still with us, I don't remember.
No, Kurt was gone by that point, but his legend was living on strong.
His legend was no longer on fumes like it is.
And if this was the old podcast, I'd put a Nirvana song at the end, but it won't be. It won't be there.
Now. Can you sing the song for us?
I can't. If you want to make it fool yourself, I'll sit back and let you do it all show.
I figured maybe I could just do that at the end and give my one-off awful.
Maybe. Yeah, if you want to do some karaoke's, we'll throw it on.
But will we get in trouble for that?
We'll find out.
What did our lawyers say?
We're being watched, so
Oh, man. Did you see,
I own the rights to what I put up now.
we are on the same platform, same level as Joe Rogan.
Okay.
I mean, Joe got 42 episodes pulled down for some shenanigans that he may or may not have been doing.
Yeah.
We had more episodes
We had more.
pulled down than Joe Rogan, so feel good about that.
I guess that's one way to put it.
We were a part of that, so.
All I know is I own my content now, and if any other podcast tries to put it on there, I'm going to take him down, Bruce.
Bruce, get him out of here. So, Derek, like I said, it is getting.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to derail a little bit. I actually had another guy that podcasts reach out to me and have me kind of consult him in setting up a podcast, and went over some do's and don'ts from what we've learned.
You always learn more from the don'ts than you do from the.
I said, hey, you're not going to think this is a big deal, and this is why it's a big deal. And went down the road a little bit. You had Mick Foley saying, "Who do we hurt?" Like you heard that one, then.
I heard it.
But anyways, a little consulting of a podcast, and he's got a couple of them. So that was nice. I'm glad we can help out and give back.
Yeah, and then like I said, same thing. I guess we haven't really. We've been doing this for over 2 years now. We just basically said we're going to figure this out. Any Joe Schmo can did it. We figured it out. Any Joe Schmo can do it.
Well, we did it.
We sure did it.
We did it so much that we got did down,
We did get it. So
and we're did back up.
if you've got an expertise, a niche, like.
Well, that's we talked about selling online with eBay a lot, but really, any expertise. If you can make a side hustle, we've talked about Uber, car driving in the past. If you got something that you can do that you can share or teach others, there's a market for you to make money doing that.
The world is flat because of the internet. Go ask Christopher Columbo.
Go ask the flat earthers. If you've got a great flat earth story or, want to join the society, you can make a living writing fan fiction, or reality, depending on where you're at on that. And you can go appear on shows and you can sell your books to people that believe the same thing as you, and that's great.
In my belief, I was just meaning that you can go anywhere.
I gotcha. I don't know if you're up on the controversy of the
No,
flat
no,
earthers, Adam. It's a thing.
I just want to preface that.
There's people that think that beyond Antarctica there's a big wall that they won't let us get past, and beyond that wall is a whole other world.
What is this, the Truman Show?
No, this is the truth. People think this.
Can I say that?
You can say it, but you can't play it. So we can play a clip from it.
Say it, not play it.
It's kind of like I didn't stop you with Vince Ventura. What was it?
Ace
Ventura. Vince, I was thinking Vince Lombardi.
Or Vince McMahon.
Yeah, you can say it, but we can't play a clip from there. So you can say,
We probably can't have anything with Jesse Ventura because that's just a whole different.
Well, that's going back over to the flat earthers, probably.
Yeah, it all ties together.
It all comes back
in a circle or in a parallelogram.
Well, there's multiple universes, right? So, there's a universe out there where we have the podcast that hasn't been taken down yet and it's still going. I don't know.
Well,
we're getting in the weeds, Adam. But you were going to tell me something before I got off there.
I was going to get into the taxes. Like this is one of the weird things that changed that again we're still totally unclear about. Is I know that if you really think about it, it's like somebody referred to it as this tax season is like riding a bicycle. As far as you can, and the IRS, like, you're on fire, and the IRS is throwing gasoline on you. Like, that's kind of how I feel right now. It's the deadline, wherever you're trying to go, keeps changing, and they threw a big, huge loop in it with the new child tax credit that changed for last year, starting this year. Meaning that if a child was born prior to 2020, because they're going to know about it, so prior to 2021, if your child is under the age of 18, now that child is worth $3,000 instead of $2,000. And they bumped it up to 18 instead of 17. And if the child's younger than 6, now that child is worth $3,600. So, what it means is there's a lot more credits going out, but the problem is they're saying they might start giving you that money starting in July on a per month basis. So it's like a pre-giving of a credit that most people plan for at the end of the year. So I don't know what the repercussions of this is going to be, but my advice that I've been telling people is if you're going to start getting random dollar amounts, be extremely diligent in writing down how much you got on what date. So when we do your taxes at the end of the year, I can reconcile correctly.
That's the thing. It's kind of a moving target. I remember doing deliveries with other companies back in the day, and it would be, this is your schedule for the day, go out and hit these 10 spots, and then about 3 spots into it, hey, don't go here, but go here, and loop around here, but be back by this time, and it's almost like the road's being built as you go.
That's taxes.
By the end of the day, you have to be at the destination where you're supposed to go. Same with tax season. You got to come and pay, and you got to show what you've done for the day. You got to show what you've collected throughout the year. Adam's going to do his best to make that happen. It's kind of weird that laws just keep continually changing depending on who's the president and who's doing this or that, what party's in there. It would make sense if everyone would get together and they'd say, this is what we're going to do, and then everyone just leave it alone.
Yeah,
whichever way it's going to be. Let's just leave it alone for a few years. Let's just let things cool down, and let's work together. But that's, neither here nor there. The point of the story is you're accountable for what you're making and bringing in. When you come to a guy like Adam to get your taxes done and say, I don't know, he doesn't know what you've been getting. And so make records.
And that's the whole reason is I hate having problems in the future. Meaning I would rather know now and take care of it the right way than saying, well, what happened is yes, I really got, $600 a month for the last 6 months. But then you come and tell me, oh no, I didn't get that money. I don't know where that money came from. And then we do your taxes, and then something happens wrong next year, and then you get a nasty letter saying, hey, just so you know, you fudged on your numbers, and really now you owe $6,000 of money that you don't have. Like, that's what I try to prevent.
Yeah, stay in front of the storm. It's coming behind you. I know you're not a big Fortnite guy, Adam, but on the game Fortnite, there's a storm that encloses, and so you got to keep moving, or you're going to die in the storm.
I can, what's that weird thing you go like this?
Yeah, you can floss a bit.
Floss, there you go.
So if you keep ahead of the storm, you're going to, then you fight other people and you probably die that way anyways. But the point of the story is the tax season storm's coming, And you can lie all you want, and you can say nothing happened all you want, but once that storm hits, you got to account for it.
Eventually you will get caught, and same thing with all of my premonition that I've been having about Venmo. I brought this up. Now they are lowering the threshold on eBay, PayPal, all of these other platforms to now, even though you were supposed to file above $600, everyone is going to get a 1099-K now, and everybody's complaining about it. You were supposed to do it anyways. That is the rule that should have been happening, but now they're finally playing by the rules.
The problem is they need tax money, they need income to come in, and they're looking and saying, hey, this online sells, there's a lot of money here, and maybe these people are underreporting or not reporting at all, so how do we change that? Now, a lot of us have been playing by the rules, or, for me, it makes sense because you get enough deductions that actually saves you money, but a lot of people are scared by it. That's why they listen to the podcast, that's why they're friends of Adam's and getting their taxes done by somebody that understands what they're doing. But they're going to be the government's going to be looking at places to find money because
they need it.
Yeah. And if a lot of these stores, brick and mortar type stores or big box chains are shutting down and selling online is picking up, they're going to pivot and say, okay, this is where the money's at. Hey, we should have been getting money here all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, how come we haven't been doing this? Oh, the threshold's been this. Let's change it to that.
Because then it makes people do it.
And that way they're getting the forms because, PayPal or eBay, they got the numbers anyways. For them to issue a form's no big deal.
Exactly. That's the thing, and people don't realize that, and that's the whole thing, and that's what I've been talking about is Venmo will come and get you. I'm not telling you to do this. Derek?
You got something in your eye there, Adam?
I'm not saying that that's what you should do.
Will a sandstorm come through this office? You're blinking a lot.
There's always some opportunities when you pay without a card. It's tough to do something with that transaction. Does that make sense, Derek?
Cash money leaves no trace.
I did not say that, Derek Everitt.
I'm just saying for a fact.
Okay, well, thank you.
That but you should still account for what you're doing.
That's the thing, is people always come and say, well, I didn't do this. I'm like, well, the reality is it doesn't change anything. Like, people think that they're getting one over on Uncle Sam, and I get it, but
It's fun to pretend.
You spend that much money on expenses anyway. So.
Well, and it goes back to like yard sales and stuff are usually cash. We'll throw out the Venmo just to rile Adam up a little bit, but usually it's just cash transactions, or if you're buying things on classified ads or on Facebook Marketplace. But if you're driving and picking it up and you're reselling it anyways, and you get a bill while you're out there, you should be marking this stuff down so that you can deduct this stuff on your taxes. It's going to save you money in the long run. You think that you're pulling the wool on old Uncle Sam's eyes, and you kind of are, but if you sell the item, you can actually deduct more on your taxes, so
exactly.
Why wouldn't you do that? Except for it is kind of a pain, but there's plenty of apps or write down receipt paper. I don't know. Do what you got to do to track it.
Yeah, you have a bank account, and that's what you go through. It's not that big a deal.
It's not rocket science if Derek can do it. Right. That's me saying it.
Oh, there you go. So,
Adam, eBay. So here's something that I need to tell people: is on your seller hub. There's a lot of news and notes, and me and Adam, sometimes we mean to get to it, but we like to get derailed and tell our stories, and we like to go off, and we have fun, and hopefully you're listening, and you're thinking, oh, those guys are fun, and we talk about our sports cards and stuff. Sometimes we miss news and notes that come out, but there's other places that cover a lot of that too. If you go on your seller hub, there's usually a place that will say, kind of the new news and stuff. I was talking about this a few weeks ago. There is a change has been made to the feedback that you can leave up to 500, I believe it's characters or words. I don't think it's total words, but it used to be feedback was like 50 words, and you'd say like A+, ace, great transaction, and then it wouldn't let you write anymore. Or like, that's why you had like 5 stars, gold balloons. Now you can say like a paragraph about your experience with the person, like, they shipped timely, they made a great offer, they packed it well. You can put some more detail in there, which means if people leave you a negative feedback, they can put more negative words out there too. So be aware of that. But also when you rebuttal, like John was saying last week, you can explain yourself a little better too. So if they say, guy was a jerk and took a turd in a box and mailed it to me, you can put, no, I did not. I sent the item very professionally, happy to do business, happy to take a refund. and you show that you're professional.
Yes.
You know, you can show, instead of like, no, this guy's a liar too, like, and it looks like your kid's going at it. So, and the same with positive feedback. You can put some more things about, hey, got it before it was suspected to arrive, or stuff like that. So just with the feedback, the number of characters that you can put in a feedback has changed to 500.
That's good.
I mean, some people won't care. For me, I think that's good because I usually put, in my feedbacks, thanks from the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast.
Yeah.
But if somebody writes something bad or whatever, I can, say, hey, this is what we tried to do, or if they have, I don't know, it just helps communication better, and I think it's a good thing that eBay did.
So it's the same basic thing like with my Google reviews. Like I like that, and that's the same kind of concept.
Yeah, it's kind of moving more that way instead of the 5 stars, excellent seller, eBay's fine. Like, I mean, what's that really tell you?
So I'll give you this. This is kind of a fill-in. Like I said, this is one of the things that, again, I'm trying to get better, try to learn. I said, don't get me wrong, take care of a lot of people's stuff. I do miss things. Like I said, it's happened. I'm a human being. I do my best to take care of things, but this was a 1-star review I got a month ago.
Uh-oh, another 1-star, Adam.
1 star. This young man says, poor communication, not just my situation. They let my friend's tax return slip through the cracks. Didn't even follow up or explain any situation. You would think a 1-sentence explanation stating your tax refund will not be filed until payment, rather than sending multiple invoices with nothing. And I says, well, this is my response. Is, I'm sorry for your dissatisfaction. You opened the invoice on 8 different days before you paid it. I am not sure how much communication I could do more. If you had any questions, you should have emailed or called. It is a standard practice to get payment before I e-file. You also had not signed the returns, so there was nothing that I could do. Good luck to you. I mean...
Well, that's the way. I mean, yeah, you can get in the weeds and say, I mean, it's just handle things professionally.
Yeah.
It's other people. It's not always a bad thing to get bad or negative feedbacks or things like that, because it shows how you handle that to a potential customer that's like, well, maybe this guy is a jerk, or maybe, boy, 1,000 good experiences, no bad, they're hiding something, right? So it's good, I mean, for him to say, okay, I see that guy's situation. Oh, he didn't pay. Well, why should this guy be doing the work if he's not getting paid?
And that's what I told him.
And you didn't say, like, give me my money, I'll shake you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, dude, I can't file your return until you pay me. He thought that I would file the return, and then when he got his refund, he would pay me. And I'm like, no, I explained that to you on our call. That's why communication, like you said, having a record of it, because it was a Zoom call, and I do the same thing with every single client, but there was obviously some form of miscommunication that he didn't understand. He had to pay first before I would complete the service.
Or else they get the check back and Adam never gets any money.
Exactly, and I can't file something until you sign something. So anyways, that was kind of going back to your question about, if you get an email, if you have an email, if you have something showing, well, hey, I sent this to you on this date, like, did you get it or did you not get it? That, it hates to be like a pointing of, I'm wrong, you're right, or whether it is that communication thing. And I did. I had one person this year that they were expecting a large refund, but the problem is because the IRS kept moving the finish line. Every time I thought I could file it, they moved it and says, well, you have to wait for this update or do this thing. So somebody got the refund about 2 weeks later than they were expecting, and it was a $10,000 refund. But I says, hey, I apologize. There isn't a whole lot I could do about the situation. They got their money, they just waited 2 weeks longer than they thought they would. But I don't guarantee anything because it's out of my control. I have no control once the return goes out. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Well, it's still going back to what we were talking about last week. I keep going back to John's conversation, but with eBay messages and stuff, that's the thing, be transparent, be transparent and professional, and, you can communicate there and try to do good communications, but like he got the negative feedback from the guy that was mad that the post office took a long time to deliver stuff. Yeah. There's certain things that are out of your hands. When the government's changing the rules and regulations, you can't really, what are you supposed to do, right? And then the same thing with that. When you're trying to communicate with somebody, you got their money, but it's a little later. As long as you're saying this is what's going to happen, we're trying to do it right. I don't know. You just got to keep that communication going, and not everyone's going to be happy with you, but as long as you're happy with yourself, I guess that's the place to be.
It's all that matters. So.
Well, I don't Adam.
I just appreciate some of the good banter. I'm glad we're back on the platform. We're going to have an interesting evening. I don't know if it will be as good as jumping the car or the truck, fixing the flat tire, all in the same evening.
I hope not.
I hope not either. So
I hope it goes the other direction.
I definitely hope it goes the other direction. So, D-Roy, that being said, there are two things in life that are for certain, and they are
Death piles and taxes.
We're well within our rights to use this song. We're aware that preaching copyright is wrong. With lots of dedication,